Pain often precedes progress, especially when you're dealing with circumstances and issues that are outside of your control. So if you're going through something right now, if you feel like you're in a tight spot, and if you feel like people have abandoned you, I want you to know that not only are you not alone, because I understand exactly what you're going through, but understand that you are actually in a good place. You are. It may not feel right, it may not feel good, it may feel tight, but you're actually in a good place. I want you to consider Job. If you haven't read the account Job in the Bible, read Job and read all the chapters. It's a lot, but read all the chapters and see what Job went through. Job was just a righteous man living. And Job had land and servants and children, had a wife, and he had some good friends. And all of a sudden, God decides to ask the enemy, have you considered my servant Job? And so you have to read it. I'm not going to go through the whole account, but you have to read it. So Job was selected because of his faithfulness. The enemy felt like if God removed certain protections from Job, that he would stop serving God. And God was like, nope, nope. And I'm paraphrasing this piece, but God was like, nope, go ahead. You can do whatever you want to him, just don't take his life. And so Job had boils, Job lost his children, his servants, all of these things happened to him. And even his wife asked him to just curse God and die. And so wherever you are right now, I want to tell you, now is not the time for you to give up. Now is not the time for you to say, Lord, I'm done with this. Now is the time to recognize God's sovereignty in your life. Now is the time to recognize this is where God does his best work. When and where it seems impossible. This is the time to cling to him even more. Don't throw in the towel. Because you got to keep reading Job. All these things happen. His wife even told him to curse God and die. He refused. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Job was pretty much like, it is what it is. But I know who I serve. And I'm going to continue to serve him no matter how I feel, no matter what it looks like. And so I think a few things were revealed in his pain. Every the character of some of his friends was like, well, you must have did something wrong. Excuse me. You must have did something wrong. His wife already told you what his wife said. His wife was just wanting him to just go ahead and kick the bucket, or just go ahead and give up. And I think that reveals the character of some of the people who he wrote with. I think that reveals maybe even their relationship with God in that moment, because he has some hardcore friends who believed in the Lord and knew him inside and out. They would have said, you must have did something wrong. They would have been trying to encourage him to go and repent or admit what he did or whatever case may be. His wife was probably also dealing with fatigue of losing her kids. You know, we get caregivers fatigue, emotional fatigue. She's caring for him. She lost her children. All these things are happening. So she was probably fatigued. So this reveals, if it doesn't reveal her character, it definitely reveals how she felt in that moment, and it reveals the human nature in us. How sometimes we're just like, what? Come on, this is too much. But A deeper revelation is that it shows how sometimes even the closest to you can't see and can't understand and can't comprehend why certain things are happening in your life. And so that tells us that we cannot rely on our spouses, rely on our girlfriends, rely on our boyfriends. We cannot rely on our families. We cannot rely on our friends when it comes to the divine assignment that God has given us. So, yes, you can be divinely assigned pain. And it's going to reveal people around you. It's going to reveal how shaky and how sometimey people can be. It's going to reveal how much closer you need to be with him. It's going to reveal your heart towards God. And hopefully, whatever you're going through right now, as you feel like your heart is in pieces, as you feel like it's just not working, as you just look around, oh Lord, hopefully you can also see how he's still continually to bless you, even in the midst of pain, right? And so that's the evidence of it being divine pain as opposed to just pain that you caused or whatever the case may be. Divine pain, there's a source of provision even within that pain. Even within that pain. So you could be going through all types of, I'm going through some things right now. Listen, if I go through my laundry list, like what? This doing all kinds of things right now. But I'm still on here talking to you, encouraging you, because I understand that God has a bigger plan. And I don't always feel good. The assignment over my life doesn't always feel right. But I know that God has called me. And I know that God has called you. So that's why I have to talk to you. To let you know that you're not in this alone. That it's okay if you feel like things aren't right. It's okay if you feel tired. It's okay that you feel frustrated. I got a text message the other morning from a very close friend of mine. And she said to me, rest if you must, but don't you quit. And that's a quote from our late and great pastor. But don't you quit. Don't you quit. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to be upset. That's okay. But don't quit. Don't quit on the assignment. Don't quit on you. And the provision in all of this is that you're still here. If you can hear me, you are still here. And so that means that God still has something for you to do. He still has work for you to do. This is just going to strengthen your relationship. This is just going to help you develop a bond with God that's so close that no matter what happens, see, he can't, I'm going to paraphrase this part of the Bible, but it says that if you are faithful over few, then you could be ruled over many. So here's the few right now. Things don't look good. This is the few. Be a good steward of whatever God has given you right now. Be a good steward over the type of health you have now. Be a good steward over where your body is right now. Do the best that you can with what God has given you. And continue to lean on him and rely on him and watch him change some things in your life. He could increase you like he did Job. Job ended up with double in the end. But the pain had to come before the progress. And the only way your faith can be unshakable is if you go through something that feels impossible. Think about it.